Okay, so this Tyson-Paul fight everyone's been talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like, we dove into a bunch of articles to really see what's what.
Right.
And I gotta say, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's
It's definitely got people talking.
Mike Tyson, back in the ring,
At 58.
58,
Yeah.
against Jake Paul, who's what, 27?
27 years old?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's like a legend from, the golden age of boxing.
Right, like the OG.
Yeah, against this, like, social media star turned boxer.
Yeah, and it's an official sanctioned fight, too.
Yeah, not just some exhibition thing.
Exactly, so it's really raising questions about what we even consider boxing these days.
Totally, and like, what is it about this kind of spectacle that just draws us all in?
Yeah.
So we're gonna break it all down for you today. The fighters' backgrounds, what they're all about.
Right, their styles, their histories.
Exactly, and the rules of this fight, because it's not your typical boxing match. And then, like, what's really at stake here?
Yeah, beyond just bragging rights.
Exactly.
There's a lot more to unpack. So, first up, Mike Tyson. I mean, that name still gives me chills.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, you hear Mike Tyson, you think power, you think knockout.
The youngest heavyweight champ ever.
50 wins, 44 of them by knockout.
And, that aggressive style.
Nobody wanted to be in the ring with that guy.
Absolutely, but
His last fight was in 2005.
yeah, almost 20 years ago.
So, can he still bring it?
Right. That's the big question. I mean, Tyson's career, it's been, well, a roller coaster, you could say.
Yeah, brilliance and controversy all mixed together.
For sure. I mean, that raw power, that intensity, it made him a global icon.
But his personal struggles, they've been well documented too.
Absolutely. So it's going to be fascinating to see how he's evolved both as a boxer and as a person.
Totally. All right, so on the other side of the ring, we got Jake Paul.
The YouTube star turned boxer.
Yeah, and, love him or hate him, he's made a name for himself in this sport.
He's got that 10-1 record.
But like you were saying, most of those wins were against MMA fighters.
Right. Or boxers who are, well, less experienced.
Yeah, so it's hard to gauge how he'll measure up against a legend like Tyson.
True, but he's definitely a savvy self-promoter.
Oh yeah, he knows how to work the media.
And he's a businessman, too. This fight, for him, it's a huge opportunity to prove himself, to really legitimize his boxing career.
And speaking of opportunity, did you see where this fight's being streamed?
On Netflix.
Netflix. Can you believe that?
I mean, it's crazy. We're talking a potential audience of over 280 million people worldwide.
That's insane.
It's huge for boxing, Streaming services, they're becoming major players in the sport.
Totally. It's opening up boxing to a whole new audience.
Exactly. And it could mean a lot more money for the fighters, too.
Right, and that's got to be a big factor for both Tyson and Paul.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've got a legend versus a social media star, a massive streaming deal, a global audience.
And don't forget, the fight's happening at AT&T Stadium.
The home of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's going to be one epic atmosphere.
Totally. But hold on, there's more.
Oh, yeah. This fight's got some unique rules.
Yeah, Texas put in some special regulations, right?
Exactly. 8 rounds instead of the usual 12.
And each round is only 2 minutes long.
Plus, they'll be wearing heavier gloves.
So fewer knockouts.
Potentially, yeah. It's interesting. These rules, they're probably there to protect both fighters.
Especially Tyson at his age.
Right, but it also adds an element of unpredictability,
Oh yeah, for sure. It could favor Paul's longer reach.
Or Tyson's power could really come into play with those heavier gloves.
It's anyone's guess how it'll all play out.
Exactly.
And let's not forget the financial side of
And
things.
also, money involved is huge.
Reports say Paul could make up to $40 million from this fight.
And Tyson's cut is said to be around $20 million.
$20 million.
I mean, those numbers really highlight how the business of boxing is changing.
Yeah, social media influence, streaming deals.
They're playing a huge role in how much these fighters earn.
It's crazy. And speaking of crazy, did you see that face-off at the weigh-in?
Oh yeah, where Tyson slapped Paul.
The tension was palpable.
Definitely no love lost between those two.
It just added so much more hype to the fight.
Right, it's like they're playing their roles perfectly.
And it's funny, this whole thing was supposed to happen back in July.
Yeah, what happened there?
Tyson had to pull out because of stomach ulcer.
Oh, wow.
So it makes you wonder, what's pushing him to come back now?
At his age, after dealing with health issues.
Maybe it was that exhibition match he had against Roy Jones Jr. during the pandemic.
That could be it.
It reignited his passion for the sport.
It's possible.
Or maybe he feels like he has something to prove.
Right, like unfinished business.
Yeah, solidify his legacy for a new generation.
Comeback stories, especially in boxing, they're always captivating.
Totally. And hey, let's not forget about the co-main event.
Oh yeah, that's a big one too.
Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano,
Two incredible female boxers.
fighting for the undisputed women's super lightweight championship.
It's a rematch of their epic fight at Madison Square Garden 2 years ago.
Which, by the way, a lot of people consider it the fight of the year.
Absolutely, it was a classic.
And for those who don't know, undisputed means the winner takes home all 4 major championship belts.
They become the absolute best in their weight class.
It's a huge deal.
This fight, it really shows how far women's boxing has come.
For sure. It's a shame it's not getting as much attention as the main event.
Yeah, but true boxing fans will be watching closely.
Absolutely. So what does it all mean? We got a legend trying to defy time, a social media star looking for legitimacy,
A historic rematch in women's boxing.
and it's all happening on a massive streaming platform.
It's crazy. This fight really shows how sports, entertainment, and media are all blending together.
Yeah, it's like a reflection of our culture right now.
Exactly. Like, what do we value in our athletes? What draws us to these big personalities?
And what about legacy? How does that factor into all this?
So many questions, right?
Will Tyson prove age is just a number?
Or will Paul shock the world?
And what about Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, whose legacy will be cemented?
This deep dive, it's given us a lot to think about.
Oh, for sure. I can't wait to see how it all plays out.
Me neither.
One thing's for sure, this fight is going to be a moment in boxing history.
Whether it's a positive moment or, well, a spectacle, it's going to leave its mark.
Totally.
It's a story that's still being written.
And we're all here to watch how it unfolds.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, folks, a deep dive into a fight that's, well, more than just a fight.
Yeah, it's a story of ambition, legacy, money, fame.
And the changing world of sports and entertainment.
Exactly.
This is a night of boxing that you don't want to miss.
It's going to be full of surprises, guaranteed.
And hey, maybe it'll even spark some debate about the future of boxing.
That's the hope, right?
We'll see.
Looking forward to it.
Me too.